Season 3 of The Boys was one of the most entertaining watches this year, but it didn't come close to the quality and story development from the first 2 seasons. While they got many things right, and we saw some fantastic acting performances from the likes of Anthony Starr and Jensen Ackles, people are criticizing Eric Kripke for the way he handled Queen Maeve's character development. Let's take a closer look. First up, the Queen Maeve problem. As it happens so often, TV series think they can take on huge storylines and multiple character arcs and create the perfect show. We haven't seen many directors nail this complex art. Game of Thrones came close, but let's not go there, especially not after the way it ended. However, we got to see the same issue with Eric Kripke's rogue superhero series, The Boys. Queen Maeve is one of the mighty superheroes of Vought and a crucial character of the Seven. Her character was loosely based on DC's Wonder Woman, and although Dominique McElligott delivered a better performance than Gal Gadot could ever produce, her character arc was nothing short of embarrassing. Even when she's introduced in the show, it's more or less obvious that she's not even trying to keep up her superhero persona and just wants out because she's chasing a normal life. The grass is always greener and all that. Her early interaction with Starlight during the first season of The Boys revealed that she was probably the only one in the Seven who didn't enjoy the privileges and wanted out because of the severe trauma the company and Homelander had given her. So far so good, right? However, as the show progressed, it became evident that despite her cool abilities and the very obvious use of her face card, the Queen Maeve character just didn't fit the storyline. So how did The Boys end Maeve's story? Eric Kripke gave the ending which Queen Maeve was after, but the way they did it, it just didn't feel like we got the best out of her. In fact, we got to see the best out of Maeve right at the very end when she goes at it with Homelander, managing to make him bleed at the cost of her own eye. Then she reluctantly jumps in front of Soldier Boy, and while the world believes that we've lost Queen Maeve to a heroic end, the truth was that she lost her powers and set off in the sunset with Elena. Hardly anyone would say that it was an unpredictable end, because Maeve was constantly hinting at a normal life. Some would even say she deserved that life, but the problem fans have is with the uneven arc, as she got sidelined more often than not. For a character that had so much promise, and for someone who could have elevated the show further, it made no sense to potentially write her off in a terrible, terrible way. If you ask us, we're huge fans of the Queen Maeve character, but we would have been totally fine with her being killed off instead of chasing the sunset. We love happy endings and all, but come on, that's the last thing on our minds when we're watching The Boys. We want to see some action, and we want to see some consequences for those actions, and Season 3 just didn't manage to do that. They could have potentially salvaged a bit of it had they killed her off. But what kind of story arc did Maeve deserve? We'd argue that she could have been the best character on the show after Homelander and Billy Butcher. Her backstory was a perfect setup of an abusive father who was later replaced by the patriarch Homelander, who's a psychopath, to say the least. But what exactly did we get from Maeve? She was nothing but a mirror for Starlight when Annie meets her in Vought for the first time. You can see that this show is hinting that Starlight was what Maeve wanted to become, and Maeve is what Starlight could become if she hadn't found the boys and Huey. And that's the problem, for us at least. Maeve's character, in fact, no offense to Erin Moriarty, but even the actress playing the role was a much better bet for success. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to see Starlight embarrass herself with useless powers of electricity. Maeve is Wonder Woman 2.0, and she's not a total lost cause, as we got to see in the plane scene from Season 1. Yeah, she ends up becoming a drunk, but that's where better writing could have curated her character a lot better than Kripke managed to do. That was our biggest complaint after watching the first season. How is it possible that Maeve doesn't have her own stories? And why does every mention of her revolve around Starlight or Homelander? They did pick it up in the second, and that was the only time we got to see more of Maeve, and it was promising. But then, the way they just ended her story in the third, embarrassing, to say the least. And can they still salvage it? Well, we truly hope not. Yes, there were endless missed opportunities for growth of Maeve's character, even if they wanted to close her chapter by the end of Season 3, but it makes no sense to revisit her story. We'd love to see her in some capacity, because who doesn't want more screen time for Dominique McElligott? But it'd be a terrible idea to give her powers again, as she makes a return to stop Homelander or something. Our only problem was her development happened off screen, and that's unfair for a character like Maeve. How can you possibly have a character like her, and then sideline the instances when she started to drink less and practice her combat skills more? But there's still a way Kripke could blow our minds. And if rumors are to be believed, it's happening. How? Well, there's an interesting rumor going about where there's a great chance that Maeve is actually pregnant. Yeah, we're talking about that Billy Butcher and Queen Maeve sex scene and the fact that she's chasing a life in the sunset with Elena. It'd be pretty decent development on the show. So the rumor isn't only about her pregnancy. Rather, there's a chance that the baby is a suit and that it might be a pretty cool way of saving Maeve's character and taking the story forward. And now, moving on to other news. First up, Steven Yeun talks about a crossover between Invincible and The Boys. Sorry, we realized that the headline might have tempted you into thinking that there's a possible crossover between The Boys and Invincible, but that's not happening. We can see why people thought it'd be a great idea considering both shows air on Prime Video from Amazon, and given how R-rated the shows are. But Steven Yeun more or less killed any possibility of a crossover with a curt no. We're still going to hold on to a bit of hope because that'd be something, wouldn't it? But for now, the fans of both shows should not put their faith in the possible crossover, although there's still something to look forward to, considering the second season of Invincible should be coming soon. It has been in active development, whatever that means. But yeah, it should have been out by June if we're being honest. Up next, a possible return for Black Noir? Again, we're sorry for the way we said that headline, and it might have led you to believe that Noir will be returning, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Finally, some good news. The fans were given a huge reality check when Homelander murdered Black Noir, and it was heartbreaking after fans of the show were introduced to Noir's backstory. It low-key broke our hearts because, come on, he was one of the better characters. Not to worry though, because Kripke has confirmed that a character who is silent and in a black mask can be recast. And apparently this time, he'll be playing a different character, and interesting and hilarious one. As per the show's creator, we know how Vought will spin the story, and it'll definitely be sad to know that the OG Noir's gone, but at least there's someone taking up the mantle, and they speak, so that's an upgrade. Too soon? We're sorry. Lastly, what do you know about Season 4 of The Boys? Well, we do know that Black Noir is coming back, and that's great news. We're hoping there's a return for Queen Maeve too, and hopefully she's bringing some good news. But what else do we know about Season 4? Carl Urban revealed that filming for Season 4 will begin in August, so that's great news. And apparently, if you want more of The Boys, you might have to wait a little extra too. They are currently on course for a return to the screen in June 2023, or a little bit later. But apparently, if they're looking to make 10 episodes, we'll probably be waiting for an early 2024 release. And the most important question of all, is Jensen Ackles returning to The Boys with his Soldier Boy character? Well, we hope so. And Kripke hopes to see Soldier Boy again. And that fills us with a lot of hope. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you agree that The Boys and Eric Kripke did injustice to Queen Maeve's character? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.